How's it going, my fellow Americans and people of the globe? I'm making this updated video on the C-19 virus. I should warn you, I am not a doctor, medical professional of any sort, not a lawyer, not a government official. I am a private citizen, so these are my opinions only. Take them with a grain of salt. We've now seen this virus spread all over the globe, and we've lost containment. Governments are now trying to mitigate its spread so that our healthcare systems are not overwhelmed, and that is the smart thing to do, to shut down public events, to prohibit large gatherings of people. At least we finally started to get our asses in gear, so to speak, at least here in the United States, although we've been slow to get on that ball, but it's happening now. The main thing that I want you to take away from this video is preparedness. I cannot stress that enough. I honestly do believe that there will be mandatory quarantines here in the United States at some point. And so you're going to want to have flour, rice, beans, sugar, butter, all the things that you would need to cook at home. Don't forget your brownie mix. Don't forget your chocolate bars. You don't want to be sitting at home with just rice and beans for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe even a month. You're going to want to cook things that are delicious. So get some canned soup, get some canned meats, Spam, chicken, bacon, stock up, and, get some food to barbecue. I don't want to say make it a party, but, be prepared to have some soul food, I guess is a good way to put it. Also buy some alcohol, who knows. I would also suggest when it comes to preparation that everyone, doesn't matter if you're young or you're old, get ready to fight the flu, because a lot of governments are acknowledging they believe the majority of their populations will eventually catch this. And it's not going to kill most people. It will make a segment of the population that is older or more vulnerable very sick, and it's a small segment, but it's still there. So everyone needs to be prepared to fight the flu, possibly even pneumonia. I had pneumonia once, walking pneumonia. It wasn't diagnosed, but I had it, and it seemed like forever. It was a terrible, terrible experience, so I'm doing everything I can to avoid this. But at the same time, I'm preparing for it as well. So, I got some medications over the counter that would help me sort of combat this. I picked up a heated blanket. I know I have a humidifier somewhere. I'm not looking forward to it, but if it comes, I'm going to be ready. I've already sort of cleaned my bedroom. You should all keep Spartan bedrooms, the place that you're going to go knuckle to knuckle with this. You want to keep Spartan. It's easier to disinfect. It's better for everyone. Maybe think about how you would deal with this if you did get it, because you're not going to be walking through your house. If you've got family members, you don't want to be walking through your whole home, spreading it to everyone. Me, if I were to come down with it, I would shut the vent. I'm lucky I've got my own private bathroom. My family members, they would probably just leave food by my door for me. I would also have food and water within reach. God forbid I can't get out of bed, because the last thing I want is for a family member to enter my bedroom if I'm sick and then catch this. So, be prepared to have something within reach, food, water, just so you can get through it. Maybe a bottle of Gatorade, which is really good at rehydrating people. Once again, though, I'm not a doctor, so you're going to kind of have to figure this out on your own. Maybe talk to medical professionals. And the other thing that people are really terrified about, and I'm in the same boat too, is unfortunately a lot of us do live paycheck to paycheck, a lot of Americans. And this is finally that moment where it's come to kick us in our asses. But the times are unprecedented. So I'm going to expect an unprecedented response from our government. You shouldn't be crying yourself to sleep right now, wondering, if you lose your job, are you going to end up homeless? There are so many people right now in a vulnerable situation that the government literally is going to have to do something for everyone. So I know businesses are shutting down because people are afraid to go out. They're afraid to eat out. I know I no longer eat out. I prepare all of my own foods at home. That way, at least I know my food is okay. But, if you're in the service industry, it's just killing your business right now. So be patient. The government is slow to react, but we could see after the 2008 crisis, the government did kick in, and I expect the same thing to happen here. It's just Uncle Sam has to figure out what he's going to do, so to speak. So I do expect the stock markets to be closed soon globally. I think it would be a wise move for governments just to shut everything down. People are panicked. It's not the end of the world. Most of us are going to survive. Life will return to normal. It's just going to take some time. We're going to have to work through this. There's going to be cultural changes, and it's just something we're not used to. American society has undergone pandemics before, the Spanish flu. Problem is, it's not within our living memory. So for us, this is all new, but it has happened before. The human race is going to go on. Travel will one day resume. It's just going to take some time to get there. And what else to tell you? I mean, it's a stressful situation for everyone. So please don't panic. Or if you do panic, at least enjoy it. We all love to panic a little bit. It's something, it's almost like a communal experience, right? So don't cry yourself to sleep, but I guess, you're going to have a story to tell your kids. And one last thing now that I think of it, and it is rather morbid. I hate to say this, but if you're over 55, I would highly suggest estate planning. Most older people, and I'm not saying if you're 55 you're elderly, that's much older, but older folks in general are going to get through this, but there will be a percentage of people who will not. And I remember when my grandmother passed away, you can't think straight when you're the family members who are left behind. You're just overwhelmed with grief, and it's a terrible time, and the last thing you even want to do or think about is going to probate court. So if you have assets that you want to pass on to your heirs, I cannot stress enough that now, when you're healthy, when you're well, is the time to do estate planning. That way your family isn't left in a lurch, because it is just a total nightmare. I can't even imagine if I'd had to go to court, hire a lawyer, which would be even more expensive than if my grandmother had just had a will, which she did, thank God. So, plan out how you're gonna divide assets, things like that. It's so much better for your family. God forbid that you succumb to not just this disease, but any disease. And I think now at least it's highlighted. So think about your families and prepare for them as well. So, folks, don't panic, don't worry, be strong. Our country, we are not going to fold, let's put it that way. We will get through this, life will go on, but for a while, we're going to get to experience some new ways of living. All right, I want to thank you for joining me. I wish you good health, and I will see you next time.